Hi guys! How are you today? Welcome back to my channel Adventures in America. If you are new to my channel, my name is Jocelyn and I'm a dual citizen of the United States and the Philippines. For today's video, I'm going to make a follow-up regarding the green list countries released by the Department of Health in the Philippines. Based on my latest video, the Philippines issued Resolution No. 123C providing a shortened quarantine requirements for those fully vaccinated outside the Philippines. However, please take note that the Philippines is not yet open for international tourism. So even though you are a foreign tourist or a foreign national from the list of green countries, you are still not allowed to travel in the Philippines. The purpose of providing the shortened requirements is that Philippines would like to give a chance to those low-risk countries to enter the country starting July 1st. However, I'm going to give you an in-depth analysis regarding these green lane countries. Philippines issued the Resolution No. 123 regarding the primary criteria for the low-risk areas. I noticed that they used the incidence rate and new trajectory cases in the last 28 days for populations exceeding 100,000. Actually, I have an idea that the Philippines will copy the countries included in the low-risk areas or considered as level 1 areas. But here in the US, we are only using it as a travel health notice. When the Department of Health in the Philippines released the list of green lane countries, I compared it side by side from that of the CDC here in the US regarding the low risk or level 1 countries. However, I found out that in the Philippines list, which has 57 countries, they included 2 more countries. It's actually Belize and Saint Kitts and Nevis. So these 2 countries were not included in the low risk countries or level 1 from the CDC. However, all of the countries that were included in the level 1 of the CDC list, they're all the same countries included in the Philippines official list. But the Philippines stated that they are coming up with their own list. However, please take note that the CDC here in the US made a last update from June 7. So the level 1 low-risk countries were placed in there or published on June 7, and it will be updated after 28 days. But the Philippines only made the list on July 1st. So that means that Philippines could add or remove certain countries after 28 days or maybe after a month. Aside from the Philippines copying the fully vaccinated definition and also the green lane primary criterion, they also copied the list of countries from the CDC here in the US. However, please take note that Philippines under the CDC is currently on level 3. So Philippines is still a high-risk country in regards to travel purposes. I'm going to show you the CDC or Centers for Disease Control and Prevention travel health notices, which are composed of different levels from level 1 to level 4, and also there is a no classification level, or if there's no classification or unknown level, then it will be treated as level 4. So I just pulled up Resolution No. 123C, and we're gonna go ahead and find that criteria. So it says here it's effective July 1st, 2021, and then on number 1, the green countries are classified by the Department of Health as low risk. Criteria is based on disease incidence rate for populations greater than 100,000 in the last 28 days or below. So here is the CDC website, which determines the level for COVID-19 travel health notices. Here is a level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4 based on the incidence of COVID in different parts of the country in the world. Now, the CDC uses COVID-19 data reported by the World Health Organization and other official sources to determine these levels. Now, if the level is unknown, the travelers should follow the level 4 recommendations. Now, this is important. The travel health notice thresholds in which the Department of Health in the Philippines adopted the primary criterion of incidence rate based on the population of 100,000 in the last 28 days. Second criteria is the new cases trajectory rate. Now compare this to the resolution's green countries' primary criterion for the incidence rate and the new case trajectory. It's almost the same. Now, the CDC provided the COVID-19 travel recommendations by map. And if you look at this one, there's like red, yellow, and gray colors on the different maps of different countries in the world. And there's these different levels of risk assessment level for COVID-19. There's unknown level, there's level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. But what is important is that we will have to find which countries are under the low risk area or the level 1. So we shouldn't concentrate on level 4, level 3, or level 2. So let's go find and concentrate on the countries on level 1. Now I'm giving you a glance which countries are under level 1 or COVID-19 low. This is data that is constantly updated by the CDC. And this is from the World Health Organization's data as well. So if you see here, there's these unknown levels. So if these countries are under unknown levels, they will be treated as level 4, which is high-risk countries. So we are going to concentrate only on level 1 or COVID-19 low countries. So if you are coming from these countries, most likely you will be included under the green lane for purposes of the shortened quarantine requirements in the Philippines. If you compare the DOH list from this CDC list, you notice that they are almost exactly the same, except there are only 2 countries included in the Philippines list that is not included in the current list of the CDC. If the Philippines will continue to copy the US data or COVID-19 guidelines or travel health protocols, they might as well copy the quarantine rules. US only requires negative COVID test within 3 days before flying or proof of recovery within 90 days before flying to the US. That is the only requirement. And quarantine is not mandatory. Quarantine is not required for fully vaccinated. So once you arrive in the US, you don't need to quarantine if you are fully vaccinated, and it recognizes vaccines which are authorized for emergency use by the World Health Organization or by the US. Also, if you are fully vaccinated here in the US, you don't even need to wear a mask. You don't need to quarantine, and you don't even need to get tested. Please take note that the green list can change every 28 days or every 14 days depending on the incidence rate and new trajectory of cases. So it's not a permanent list that we can all depend on, especially now that there is a new Delta variant. If the Philippines is going to impose a 7-day quarantine requirement or 10 days based on the country you are coming from, then they might as well pay for the forced hotel mandatory quarantine. There was also an announcement by the President of the Philippines, Rodrigo Duterte, that he will be offering free quarantine hotels for Filipinos or returning Filipinos. However, there has been no official date when these free quarantine hotels will be implemented. Let me know your thoughts and post your comments down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Also, if you have any other questions or comments, you may also post your comments below. And if you recently traveled in the Philippines, please share your travel experience and let us know what you think of the travel restrictions. Thank you guys for watching, and if you haven't liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. I always welcome new subscribers. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope everyone is staying safe and have a great day.